Cultural appropriation has been a serious hot button issue in the media recently, and there's a recent story that I think perfectly summarizes why cultural appropriation is a big deal to some members of biracial and African American communities. Now, recently, an 11-year-old girl who is biracial was kicked off a cheerleading team because she refused to straighten her curly hair for performances. Michaela Follow was basically told that she needed to straighten her hair because of uniform reasons. The cheer director says the team gets more points for a uniform look. However, her mom says that the heat and chemicals required to straighten her hair will ruin it, and they want to avoid doing that. So as a result, the director did kick her off the team. Now, we have a statement from the director. He did speak to the press about it. Let's take a look at what he has to say, and we'll discuss.
It would destroy her hair. And so I wanted to explain to them, kind of my reasoning.
Kevin Toner said he was ready to compromise in that meeting and keep Michaela on the team.
We were trying to make the exception. We were trying to find a compromise and a happy medium. And she wasn't up for that compromise and happy medium. She was very defensive.
Fallow says she shouldn't have to compromise her daughter's natural beauty and talent. Michaela was told she was off the team.
It wasn't about hair. It was about, we don't want this negativity on our team.
So the reason why this story made me think of cultural appropriation is because oftentimes biracial and black women are told over and over again that they have to conform to a very specific look in order to get job opportunities, in order to fit in with the community. They're told that they need to straighten their hair, and it does damage their hair. They have to do the relaxers, they have to do the chemical treatments, and then at the same time, you'll have beauty magazines celebrating white women who sport an afro or sport certain, culturally black looks that black women get criticized for. So that's the thing that kind of came up to me for this story, but I'm really curious to see what you guys think about it. Just to make it clear, her hair is beautiful. I don't think it matters whether it's straight or curly. She should just wear it in a ponytail, and I think that's enough of a uniform look for the cheer team to look the same. What do you guys think about this? Keith, make your point.
Well, for me, I grew up in a house with all women, all black women, and what the first thing I learned is never get in the way between a black woman and her hair. So that is one of the major things where I'm like, oh, I don't have an opinion about this at all. I don't know what, whatever you think is best. But here's the deal. Here's the thing. My wife is a black woman who has straightened her hair for many, many, many decades.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden decided that it was damaging her hair and decided to go back to the curly look. And she did get a lot of criticism for it. Mm-hmm. I think that there's a lot of, but at the same time, she also came into her own in a way and really identified herself and was able to understand who she was. And I think that, honestly, we have to start making individuality a positive thing.
Yes, I agree.
In this in this culture, instead of making uniformity the positivity.
Hannah.
Yeah, I mean, this story really frustrated me because we always talk about why women have these strict ideals of beauty standards and things like that, and then we're telling an 11-year-old that she needs to straighten her hair. I mean, it just made me so upset. And then she doesn't get to be a part of the team anymore, and now her hair, her natural beauty, is holding her back from doing something that she loves and being with her friends. And what kind of message is that sending to kids?
It means that the way that you were born and your natural features are not considered acceptable.
Right.
And that's what makes me honestly understand the whole cultural appropriation thing. Now, to be clear about that, I really want to follow up the statement by saying, I think that it's not a good idea to take certain things and kind of keep it for your own culture and say no one else can do this because it's bad. But I do think it's important to talk about the double standard that certain communities face as a result of the way they look. It drives me crazy. By the way, just an anecdote from my personal life. I have a very good friend who works in news. She's Ethiopian, gorgeous, gorgeous girl who used to wear her hair very curled, like it was kinky and it was beautiful, and everyone would compliment how beautiful she looked. And then they told her at a news company that she worked at that she needed to straighten her hair in order to look professional. At the same time, I can do whatever I want with my hair. I've never been told, oh, Anna, you need to straighten it. Oh, Anna, it's too curly. This is a bad idea. I used to, wear really kinky hair last year during the summertime. and I never had an issue with it. But I know that if she did it, people would have an issue
That
with
makes
it.
me so frustrated. One last thing I wanted to say was in the video, the coach said, you know, I was trying to compromise with her, and therein that sentence lies the problem.
Yeah.
There should be no compromise.
Right. Well,
There
here's the
shouldn't
thing.
even be
He
a
didn't. He
conversation.
didn't try to compromise because his
Right.
idea of compromise is telling her straighten your hair or else. That's an ultimatum. Ultimatum. That's not a compromise. Well, here's the personal question: is there something that stopped you from participating? You know, some sort of rule or something that stopped you from participating in a group, Hannah?
Yeah, so I was in a sorority in college, and I loved my sorority experience. I loved my family, and I like a lot of the aspects of being in sorority life, but I hated recruitment because I thought it brought out the worst and most shallow characteristics in these girls who I really respected and thought were really intelligent and bright women. And so I actually told the president, I was like, look, either you let me skip recruitment or I'm out of the sorority. Because I didn't want to see that in people who I really respected. I didn't want to see those kinds of behaviors talking about other women like that. I thought it was gross.
Yeah. What about you, Keith?
I have so many stories that we don't have time to recount them all. One of the major ones was I'm part Native American, and then I had tail when I was a kid, that was part of the Native American culture that my tribe is from, and I went to Catholic school in 7th grade, and they asked me to cut it off because they said that it wasn't. That wasn't part of the dress code, and I successfully fought to keep it.
Good.
Wow.
I subsequently had to cut it off my own self because I started looking weird, but
But it was your decision.
it was my decision.
That's the important thing, absolutely. I would say that the thing that I kind of stopped participating in because of the rules was religion. I grew up Christian. I went to Sunday school every week. Now, fortunately, I grew up in a Christian culture that was very inclusive and kind of preached about love and acceptance and forgiveness, all the good things you hear about religion. But unfortunately, as I grew and as I was exposed to Christians from other churches that might have been more fundamentalist and more extreme, I realized that there was a lot of exclusion, there was a lot of, hatred, judgment, and stuff that made me uncomfortable. And then also, I started realizing that I believed a lot more in science than in, religious doctrine. So little by little, I kind of got myself out of there, became agnostic, and now I identify as an atheist. So I guess that would be the best example I can give you guys. But I want to hear from you and some examples that you have. What type of rules have made you decide not to be part of some sort of organization or club? Comment in the section below. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon.